This experience I had just last night. In this experience, I would be in a white truck. It was very big kind of diesel truck, and I was riding passenger, and I was with this Mexican individual, or this Mexican man. He was wearing, typical hat and everything, and I suspect, anyways, that it was one of the real guides. And because I'm familiar with the Mexico area, or at least a specific part of the Mexico area in Baja, I was riding down one of the main streets there. It's basically kind of one long road that kind of goes, basically, I mean, through the whole place. You can kind of take this road all the way down south and north. I was riding through the particular part that I've been through. And so anyways, I come down and I'm going down into the valley like I used to when I was in there in Mexico, and I going up the dirt road, and I'm coming around and I'm going on this bridge, and like I said, I'm riding passenger with this man. And before we get into the valley, I remember, without saying anything, the man, he kind of turns to his right and he kind of looks at me. He doesn't say anything to me. He just kind of looks at me before we go into the valley. And as soon as we go into the valley, I see that it has been totally transformed. It looks like there's a bunch of houses, and there's like strawberry fields, and there's all this kinds of other like different things. It looks like it has been again transformed. And I remember I went back to the ranch, and was talking with Duane, and basically it was like this whole other community had been started. So I kind of look at that. That was kind of like a future view. So just kind of things coming together. So I just thought that was an interesting experience I wanted to share with everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good, Jeremy. And so that's the idea here with what Val has done. Val went up there for a little while just recently because Val was the hiker with the crest line, or whatever you call a trail that he had done years ago. And so I was looking at this for here also. There's a lot of things I want to do here, and the funding is always being a little postponed because there are forces that don't want it to happen, but it will. And so, yeah, it's undoubtedly Rebsar driving the car. He's done this before, and he's dressed up like a Mexican. So seers in the past that I've dealt with, they would see this too. Rebsar would dress up like that and other things in the Mexican attire, even play the guitar and do things, but they didn't really get the hint. And so, because there's a lot more openness down here. Everything in the United States is restriction. Anything that you try to do or whatever, it's all restriction, laws, whatever. They don't really want you to do it. They just love their rules and regulations. Down here, especially here, Primo Tapia, I see this as an exceptional place. And this little Sleepy Valley is just really cool. And there's so much open and expansionness to play with here, to really have fun putting this together. So I was telling Val last week, I said, what I really see here is we start, because we have all this open land here, we start another trail. You've done the Crescent Trail. People know about these trails. And so just like the old pioneers, we create a new trail. And along the trail is the farmers and different things that people can visit and experience and what have you. And it's basically mapped out, and you have to improvise and whatever, but along the trail and all the way down to the tip eventually, that'll take years, but starting off in Primo Tapia here, and then over the mountains and around, follow the dirt road over the mountains and around to La Mission, and then from there, little by little, create more trails. And so we're going to call it the Sunrise Trail. And I see this is just really cool. And because the farmers here, the people here are sweethearts. They are very, very humble, sweetheart people. They're not rule lovers. They're not restricted by all the nonsense in their head. They just, live with what's all natural, and they do the best they can. And so I want to bring in, giving water wells to them, digging water wells, bringing hydroponics so they don't have to slave labor in the fields anymore, but we plant trees and vegetation areas like Val has mapped out here, and see it's all possible. And as people put their attention on there, but as they get the funding, that's my total focus. And those that want to join in, you're welcome to come here and support you, but you have to take part because we have a lot to do. There's a whole lot to do and a whole lot of possibility. And all this is to provide something for people to step by step gradually wake up to something better in their awareness, wake up to see that, there's a real side to them that has potential and not to be restricted by all the silliness that we've gone through, because the world is in huge danger because of all the pollution and all the nonsense. And yeah, just like Peter's talking about the political system and that, I don't pay attention to any of that nonsense. None of it. Not one bit. I don't even really write about it too much. The thing is that it's all friggin' distracting nonsense, and it's just to keep people stupid, and nothing will get better. It only gets worse. So why even pay attention to it? Where's the potential there? There's nothing. And so again, people in the United States, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing here, and most of the world, etc. And paying attention to all this, and then they create the aberrations of, oh, China's doing this and Russia's doing this. This is all nonsense since I've been here, since I was a little guy. And so again, they keep the nonsense up because they're bored people and they like to watch people suffer. So most people are agreeable to keep suffering. And so just doing our part here, and this is the fun part, and met so many wonderful people. And there's one lady I met down here, and it was about 4 years ago. We've been here almost 5 years in January. Is around 3.5, 4 years ago on the real side. I was standing on this bluff overlooking the ocean where we surfed down there, where we used to drive, and then we'd walk down this bluff and go surfing out there. Paul on the real side brought this person with him, and he was just standing there. And Paul is rather short. He's about maybe 5'6", 5'4", 5'6". Anyhow, so to his left, and he was looking at me, and I was standing right in front of him, and there was somebody right by his side that he was holding right to his side. It was like his child or something. It was, they were like one together. And at the time, I did not recognize who this was. And so as time went on, and so here it is, over 3 years later. And then this lady I met here, basically in last year, the beginning of this year, etc., this realtor, I soon realized that, and I told Rosa, because she's into, far out things like we are, and gnostics and many, many things, but she's listening. She's doing the new you now. And she's very aware of all the stuff down here because she was born and raised here. She's Mexican, Mexican-American, and she does real estate down here. And it's so cool. And so, this has been the case where Paul and Rebazar will bring the seers, bring people around, etc., give them the opportunity. And most of them have left. Most of them didn't get the message, etc. And so, but Rosa's a sweetheart, and I've told her everything that I want to do, and she's all for it. She sees it. She says, I see this. It will happen. And so, step by step, these people come together, and this is the fun part. While we're here, it's having a purpose and doing something. And most people, they don't have a purpose; they just hang around, etc. So the books and what I write, etc. That's first step, but to actually get up and do something real with this world, take the risk and the adventure. And again, people are showing all the time. Rebazar gives the hints as to Mexico. And so I just made a few images here with Rebazar as the genius of the year and teacher of the year, etc. I'm going to make many, many more. And Rebazar is going to be the Mexican. He's going to be the backer of all this. And so just to get his picture out there so people know, etc. So it really doesn't matter. The old things that we've come to know, it's a new day. It's a new time to take the risk, because look at all the idiots that are destroying this place, poisoning everything, etc. So at least want to let people know that they don't need GMO food, they don't need poisoning or whatever, and a step at a time. Get to the children, show them how to, be intuitively aware. So many possibilities, and who will step up and really take part in this? The United States is drowning in its own nonsense, and it's just continually whatever. Mexico is wide open, and the people down here are so sincere. There's even a status worldwide that the Mexican people are like the most humble people in the world, which they are. They're just sweethearts. And these farmers, they're just real people. And I've come to Mexico just for at least half my life or more, et cetera, come down here to surf and whatever. And I'm not going back to the US. I'm not concerned about all that. It's just a bunch of nonsense. And it's not about looking for a happy lifestyle. It's more fun to be real with what is really taking place with all life. And this is a reflection here. And I want something to do. I don't want to just sit and write forever. I want to get out there with the people and meet the people and see them succeed and become more aware. That's my focus. So your experience there, Jeremy, is very, very important. I wouldn't take it lightly at all. It's matter of fact, right in your face. And so this is what's happening now. Yes, and I'm very grateful, and it's such a privilege to be part of it, that I am aware of all this. It's just terrific. Yes, and thank you for sharing.